Good morning traders, welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me John on this Friday the 11th of August. So we've got a full board today on the currency strength indicator tables. We're going to take a look at a few currency pairs of interest. One caveat I do think today we may have to hold out on is the US dollar. The dollar's on here as the strongest currency on the trend traders and S2 on our day traders. The only problem with that is today we have some data coming up at 1:30, which is the US PPI data. And considering the fact that we're in a position where we're in that sort of holiday period, we're in that sort of high volatility, low volume sort of area, and the fact that high impact news is having a good effect on the markets at the moment in terms of the moves are a little bit more exaggerated, we may have to just leave the dollar pairs alone today. And the fact that it's a Friday, so a lot of times on a Friday you can get some kind of pullbacks in the market, or you can get a little bit of profit taken, and things like that. So I would probably personally just stay away from the US dollar today. We've banked some good profits. If you were fortunate enough to stay in the trade yesterday, you would be up around about 226 pips on Euro Kiwi, around about 60-70 pips up on Euro CAD. So that's a decent haul of pips in a week. So we'll go take a look at those first. But just letting you know, dollar is going to be a bit of an interesting one to look at today. Euro still remains the top. So Euro's that currency that we're really focusing on at the moment. We've been long Euro Kiwi, we've been long Euro CAD as well. CAD has gone away from the tables, but Euro's still there at the moment, so still happy to hold that position. Euro Yen we're trying to catch a little piece of, we just haven't been able to catch it yet, and now Aussies come onto there, so Euro Oz could be something to watch as well. We have checked out some of the Swiss pairs recently, a little bit harder to get on to than the Euro pairs, but we'll go take a look at a couple of those. So we're going to kick it off with Euro Kiwi because we're in this position. Depending on how you managed the trade yesterday would depend on the outcome of your position. What I mean by that is, so we got in down through here at 1.875. So what I'm going to do is just grab a rectangle tool. I'm just going to kind of make it into a little bit of a thick line there. Click on the properties, and I'm just going to put this as 875 and this one as 108.75, and I'm just going to click OK. Now, depending on how you managed the position yesterday would depend on the outcome of the result, obviously, that you would have got, because although everything stayed intact for us here, we had some high impact data coming out yesterday, which was some US CPI data. In the video yesterday, I explained there's two options that you could do. You could either look to take profits if price came above this and hit the 1.82 handle, which was something we discussed. We didn't get there before the news. We did create a new high in the hourly chart. So I said there's one thing you can do is move your stop loss to break even. So that was our entry point. If you move your stop loss to break even, you can just see there, depending on how aggressive you was with your stop in terms of, was it under this low here, for instance, or was it dead on break even? If you were dead on break even, you'd have still been in the trade, okay, because the spread didn't knock you out, and you would still be up at this moment, which was around 230 pips, now about 210, 205 pips at this current moment in time. So if you manage to hold on to that position there, I think you're in a good position now to start taking some profits off the table. Our overall target is this 1.84 handle, so we're not too far away from that, and you could either bank some profits going into the weekend, and we can look for a new trade coming onto this one, because obviously the 50 moving averages coming up through here. We've got all these prior highs down through here as well. So if price, let's say, pulls back down into the sort of the 1.82 handle, 50 moving average running through there as well, that could be another point of entry for us to look for that long, as long as Euro Kiwi obviously remains on the tables. Now, like I said, depending on how you manage your position will depend on the outcome of the trade. So if you did get knocked out for break even there, that's absolutely fine. You know, we managed the trade appropriately, and like I said, because of the high impact news around recently, because we're in this holiday period, the moves have been a bit more exaggerated. So really, US CPI should not really affect the Euro Kiwi price, but it did. It had an impact in the markets generally. and we saw that move down, that sharp move down on Euro Kiwi before a move higher. So if you did get knocked out of that one, that's okay. EuroCAD stayed in. If you have a little look at EuroCAD, we were looking to get long in and around this area. I managed to get long around about 142.27. Currently up around 50 pips. We were about 60 odd pips up on this, about 62 pips up. So yeah, happy to hold this one still as well. Obviously the only difference here is that CAD isn't on our tables at the moment. So again, it depends on how you want to manage your positions in the market. I think a 300 pip haul at the end of the week is a good haul to have. Going into this, you could just say, well, I'll bank all my positions now. I'll see how the market reverts on Monday, depending if you want to keep your trades open over a weekend. Obviously that is a personal decision to you. Moving on to some of the charts that we're not involved with then yet. So we were looking at Kiwi Swiss this week. The only problem we had with Kiwi Swiss was the fact that we were very much by these all-time lows, but you can see price has ignored those all-time lows and has traded through them now by about 30-40 pips. We were looking at getting short around about this area here, I think it was, and we would have been about 40 to 45 pips up. The only problem we had was we're at the 0 spot 53 all-time lows, so we now need to move that all-time low down into the 0 spot 52.60 level. Now, if Kiwi Swiss remains on the tables, and I think we pull back into this zone here, and we do get another setup, arguably you could look for the continuation to the downside there. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. At least you've got a target to work with. At the time, we were consolidating at the key level, so it was harder for your risk to reward ratio. It was harder to get a safe stop loss, whereas now if price came up into this level, at least you could put your stop losses above the highs and you could have some kind of return there. So it's a little bit different looking at it now rather than when we were looking at it before. Another market we looked at as well was Swiss yen. Still looking for an entry into this one. Very similar though, it's hard to call that. We were right back at these all-time highs again. All-time highs have been smashed through now. We're now looking at something like 165.40 as the all-time highs. So very similar. I think what we're going to have to look for is maybe sort of an area down through at this 164.20. You can see we kind of had like a consolidation pattern running through here, a little bit of like a triangle pattern after price had rallied. Price then traded through that, and we've moved considerably higher here. I mean, we broke that level there and rallied 130 pips to the upside. So I think if Swiss yen does have some legs, I need to see a deeper retracement, just because again, we're attacking all-time highs. Now, I think this is where it differs between sort of the Swiss pairs and the Euro pairs, because if I was to go on, let's say, Euro Aussie, for instance, saying, well, okay, we're long Euro Kiwi, we're long Euro CAD, but Euro Aussie's appeared on the tables now, and if we look at Euro Oz on a weekly, we're trading through this 1 spot 67.50. If I move higher here, the next kind of level of interest is up at the 1 spot 7s, even into the 1 spot 73.50s. So really speaking, that needs to be up there. Sorry, that is a all-time high level. Really speaking, I'm looking at this kind of area through here. Can we get price into that point? And if so, how does that look for us? Well, if I go to the 4-hour time frame at the moment, we have traded into new highs. We came and retested, price has rallied again. So I wouldn't mind seeing some kind of development happen here. It is a little bit choppy. If we look at it from that 4-hour perspective, it is choppy. You could even consider the fact that there might even be like a little channel going on through here. I didn't quite spot that before, but if you kind of look at it, where price has been, we've extended out of it, come back, worked within it, retested, come back, retested. So maybe a channel support low retested could offer us something on this particular market. Euro Oz, like I said, Euro Yen is also a similar one. I do quite like Euro Yen overall. We've been looking at sort of retests down at these sort of box areas, but price just hasn't come back. Again, we're now back at 159, which was our overall targets for this market, and we're consolidating again. So if we break out of this box higher, the next level of interest comes in at, let me just zoom right out, it looks to be like it would be that 169 handle, because if I just open this up a little bit just so you can see, what we're essentially looking at is that box consolidation here. We've come to the 159, which was a nice level within that box, but the highs of the range there is that 169. So maybe we have a little bit more to go here on euro yen as well. I'm just kind of watching how price reacts in this area. I'd love a pullback. I'd love a pullback even into this sort of area down through here, 158 spot 40s, where we had that really strong sort of demand come through. That'd be something nice, because you got the 50 moving average running through there as well. It's whether we get that move or not, and at the moment it's not looking very likely that we're going to get that move, but I do quite like euro yen out of the majority of forex pairs. Again, we've had a pretty good week. Depending on what you want to do with your positions now is up to you. Euro CAD's up. Euro Kiwi's performed extremely well for us. So, you know, if you can bank that position and then, you know, look for another position on Monday, I think that's a good option to have going into that. You could also hold it over the weekend, but again, that decision is yours to make. So thanks for watching the video update. I hope you enjoyed all the content this week. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you caught some pips, and I'll catch you in the next video.